Good morning and welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. As promised, the NFC Playoff Picture as we get set to enter Week 13. Now set following the Vikings' loss to the Bears on Monday Night Football. No changes from what we briefly mentioned yesterday at the top. Eagles are the 1 seed for now. Niners over the Lions 2 and 3. Falcons as the new number 4. Dallas, Seattle. But now that 6 through 7 seeds, the past 2 weeks it's gone from it'll probably be Seattle, probably Minnesota too. Actually, this is now an open battle. Seattle, Minnesota, Green Bay, and the Rams very much in the mix, and an outside shot. 2 NFC South teams somehow squeeze in. If you did not catch yesterday's video, we broke down the AFC Playoff Picture in depth. That video will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. This is what it looks like. I do want to acknowledge it briefly. Since not everyone watches both videos, that's totally fine. Ravens, Chiefs, Jags, the Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, Colts, Houston, Denver, and Buffalo very much in the mix as well. We are splitting up the NFC, AFC because the Monday night game only featured NFC teams. So there was no impact to the AFC. We got that one out earlier. If you like us doing that, then like the video so we continue to do it moving forward. If you like it being in the 2 videos, then like this video right now. All right, let's go to the NFC. We'll start with the top 4 division leaders, where, once again, the Eagles on the verge of clinching a playoff spot. Now, they took down the Bills in a thriller 37-34 in overtime as the Eagles consistently find ways to pull out wins. Now they play the Niners, then Dallas, Seattle, and an easy end-of-game schedule, Giants, Cardinals, and the Giants again. Now, there has been some conflicting information out there. The Eagles did not clinch a playoff spot with that win over Buffalo, although for the past 2 weeks, they've been a de facto playoff team clinched. Even if they lose out, they still have like a 98% chance of making it. They're not going to lose out, but there are a couple weird tiebreaker scenarios in which they don't get in. This is, as I understand it, via playoffscenarios.com, this is or playoffpicture.com, whatever it is. This is the clinching scenario, Philadelphia. They win and the Rams lose, they get in. Or they win and the Lions and Packers lose. If all 3 of those things happen, by the way, I guess 4 including the win, Eagles clinch the 6th seed. So they're going to be a playoff team. Would not be surprised if they clinched this week. They're certainly going to be on the verge of it no matter what. It's a matter of when, not if, Philadelphia locks up that top spot, or that playoff spot in the near future. Let's go to San Francisco now, the number 2 seed for the moment. Again, playoff chances greater than 99% because I think 9 wins gets you into the playoff seeds at minimum. Tough game against Philadelphia. This is a massive game of the week. Huge number 1 seed implications. After that, it's Seattle, Arizona, Baltimore, Washington, the Rams. So big game for San Francisco, Philadelphia. That's going to be an awesome game to watch. The number 3 seed, Detroit Lions. Bad loss against Green Bay. Really hurts their number 1 seed chances. Saints this week, then Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Dallas, and Vikings again down the stretch. Now, Philadelphia is the number 1 seed right now, and I think most of us would agree that they're the best team in the NFC, at least unless we're a fan of the Niners or whatever. Who do you think is the biggest threat to Philadelphia? 4 for San Francisco, C for the Cowboys, or L for the Lions. I'm going with the 49ers, but I want to hear from you guys in the pinned comment of today's video. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it, head down there, and go vote. Over to the Falcons, who have taken over the number 4 seed in the NFC, thanks to the head-to-head win over the New Orleans Saints. Playoff chances right now, 63%. Again, those odds for the New York Times Upshot Simulator factors in like the spreads for games, like how likely they are to win. So it includes like a strength of schedule, basically. Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints. Falcons control their own destiny now. Saints do to a certain extent once they play each other later on this season. But the Falcons, with a big win over New Orleans, if you can beat the Jets and Bucks and Panthers the next 3 weeks, you're in really good shape to make the playoffs this season. Let's go to the wild card. And right now, there's one clear-cut team that's going to make the playoffs this year. And again, honestly, 9 wins I think is going to be enough. Maybe it's tiebreaker related for that 7 seed. Dallas is 8-3, a 99% chance of making the playoffs. So again, to put this in perspective with where they're at in terms of like the tiebreakers, etc., in the event that Dallas ended up losing all their games down the stretch, they'd still have like a 15 or 20% chance of making it. Now, they're not going to lose every game. They might lose to Seattle, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, some combination Lions, Commanders in Week 18. So the schedule does get much tougher for the Cowboys. But I will say, a win this week, even if they lose out, about a 92% chance. So no clinching scenarios yet. Probably won't be for a few more weeks. But the expectation is Dallas is your other clear-cut playoff team, along with the Lions, Niners, and Philadelphia. Now, today's show was made possible by GameTime. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Sports, music, theater, comedy, whatever. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. You can see the view from your seat before you buy. It's kind of like a live photo. Move your camera or move your phone left to right. You'll see it pretty well there. I also like that they have the zone deals. You pick the section, and GameTime picks the seats. For an average of 18% savings. Who cares if you're in seat 7 or seat 13? Doesn't really matter all that much. It's awesome. Flash deals give you awesome discounts as well. So download the GameTime app today. Use code NFLChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but create your account and redeem code NFLCHAT for $20 off. Download GameTime today for last-minute tickets and your lowest price options guaranteed. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. The playoff chances have changed significantly for Seattle over the past couple of weeks. They had the tough loss against San Francisco, a painful loss against the Rams, and with the other games that have happened the past 2 weeks, Seattle's gone from a team that was staring down at 1.5 weeks ago, a 69% chance of making the playoffs, even above 70, to 35%. And it's because of their schedule. Dallas on Thursday night, then San Francisco, then Philadelphia. They're going to be underdogs in all 3 of those games. And that would suddenly put them at 6-8, almost having to win out, which they could certainly do against Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Arizona. That Rams loss might really come back to haunt them because my suspicion here, barring some fluky NFC South stuff, is one NFC North team is going to get a wild card spot and one NFC West team is going to get a wild card spot. So it's all very interesting and curious with how this will play out going forward. It's a fun spot to be in for the Seattle Seahawks in terms of like having a chance to find a way to win a football game down the stretch. If they can pull an upset over Dallas, over San Francisco, over Philadelphia, that will go a significantly long way to helping their playoff chances. But the last 2 weeks have really negatively impacted them. Minnesota also heading in the wrong direction from a playoff odds standpoint. They were up there 70-ish. They lost against the Bears, a game they were supposed to win. Now they're on bye. Their schedule isn't that daunting except for playing 2 games against the Lions. If they take care of business against the Rams and the Bengals, what will likely end up happening is Week 17, Vikings and the Packers, which is already a primetime football game, might be for a playoff spot, or at least significant boost to making the playoff spot, because Minnesota's 6-8 and Green Bay is the first team in the hunt at 5-6 in the NFL playoff picture, along with the Rams and the Saints. So we'll spend some more time on a couple of these teams here. But who gets that final spot in the NFC? Is it the Saints, the Seahawks, the Vikings, the Rams, the Packers? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. See, Green Bay and Minnesota are almost a even match to make that playoff spot with an outside shot of both teams squeezing in there. Now, they play the Chiefs this week. So, in theory, it's going to drop down to 5-7, right? You're not going to win that game, you would think. Then you'll beat the Giants, and then a game against the Bucs. It's kind of a pivotal game for both teams. Bucs might be out of the playoff race if they lose that one. Panthers, they should win. and Minnesota. The schedule, once you get past KC, not that daunting for Green Bay. Meanwhile, the Rams are getting hot at the right time as they've actually been kind of a decent football team with Stafford healthy. They beat the Cardinals, a tough game against the Browns, who are going to fight like hell to stay in their own playoff race. Difficult game against the Ravens. But then it's Commanders, Saints, Giants, and Niners. So you're trying to get to 9 wins, right? If the Rams beat the Browns this weekend, that's going to go a massive way for their playoff chances. Now, if you guys love the NFL playoffs like we do here at Chat Sports, make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that sub button right now for more free NFL videos. A lot of teams with that greater than 40% chance to make the playoffs right now, or 35 at least in Seahawks case. The Saints, the tough loss against Atlanta. There is a real chance, given their schedule. Again, they're probably going to lose to the Lions, so we'll say 5-7. Beat the Panthers, beat the Giants, gets them to 7 wins. Maybe they lose against the Rams, beat the Bucks. That could potentially set up a winner-take-all Falcons-Saints Week 18 matchup that most likely would be put in prime time, given the fact that it would be a winner-take-all matchup. The other remaining playoff odds, the teams that cannot be eliminated this week, more on that in a minute. The Bucks at 15%, which is kind of all based on the NFC South chances. Giants are less than 1%. The Bears have a 2% chance, and the reason being their schedule is the Lions, Browns, Cardinals, Falcons, Packers. So if they can go on a run, they have a chance, but if and when they lose to the Lions, it drops down to about less than 1%. Commanders, less than 1% as well. So when it comes to the NFC South, who wins it this year? B for the Bucks, F for the Falcons, or S for the Saints? Sound off for me in the comments section. For potentially the last time, I do want to make note of the Cardinals and the Panthers. The Arizona Cardinals are eliminated from the playoff race with any of the following this week: a loss and a Packers and Rams win, or a Rams and Seahawks win, or a Packers and Seahawks win. So basically 2 of the 3 Green Bay Rams, Seahawks must win. Bucks, Falcons, and Seahawks win. Bucks, Falcons, Rams, and Saints win. So the simplest scenario there is Cardinals lose, 2 of the 3 of Green Bay, Rams, or Seahawks win. Seems a bit unlikely to get eliminated this week given the opponents those teams are playing, but they're trending in that direction. Carolina, meanwhile, is formally eliminated from the playoff race with a loss. They've already fired Frank Reich. At some point, you're just going to see the little asterisk below of eliminated in the near future.